Coach, interesting game that you had on Monday Night Football, and your tight end had a record-setting day, best performance ever by a Raider tight end.
You know, Jared Cook's had a great training camp. He really picked the offense up fast. He's so versatile. He can line up in line as a standard tight end. You can put him in a slot. You can line him up outside. And that was the matchup that we really coveted against the Rams. And I think he should have had a lot more yards than he even did.
Well, that's ninth most in NFL history in a game, most for the Raiders, but ninth most ever. So take us through it, especially on that first drive, that little skinny slant. That was big for you on that scoring drive.
Well, as you can see at the top of the screen, we motion Marshawn outside of Cook. Cook's in the slot now, and if you can get him one-on-one against the linebacker in this case with a two-way go, he is downright nasty, and Derek does a great job giving him an accurate ball that he can run with. He makes LaMarcus Joyner miss, and you see the speed. Not many tight ends can run that route from the slot, let alone run away from the entire Rams secondary for a 45-yard gain. That got the crowd in it, but it's well done. Derek saw the matchup. You see Cook in the slot working against the linebacker, and he does it every day in practice. It was great to see him have this kind of success on Monday Night Football. Great start to the game.
And as you said last week, I love the dirt, running through the dirt.
Yeah, well, I do love the dirt. Some people think I'm nuts, but you know, as the first half unfolded, we got a quick count, two-back set. We ran a play-action pass. We used Cooper at the top of the screen to clear out the deep zone, and here comes Jared Cook. Once again, this time he beats a strong safety in one-on-one coverage to the corner. Derek makes a perfect throw, and that's another big explosive play. And once again, safeties versus our tight end, linebackers versus our tight end, that's a tough matchup.
When you got here, did you know what you had in him?
We had a pretty good idea, and it didn't take long when we came out on the practice field. I didn't know if Cook was Martavis Bryant or Martavis Bryant was Cook. They're both from a different planet. They're very freakish in terms of their athletic ability, long arms, size. They can change directions, and they're smart football players.
Let's go to the 3rd and 13.
Well, 3rd down and 13 is a tough down in the NFL, and what we have is a no-back set. We're trying to get some deep throws to Cooper on a high fade down here, Jordy on a high fade, but the Rams started playing a lot of zone coverage as the game unfolded, so we've put Jared Cook in the middle here. He's running an option route. He sits down nice and friendly versus the zone coverage. And, you know, he fight for yardage after the catch. This is what I love the most. That's like Mark Bavaro did it back in the day. So what you see from Cook is you see him in the slot. You see him lining up wide. He's in line. And you see the effort, the tenacity, the will to win. That's what a Raider's all about right there.
So when I think about this, and I think about the tight end can be a quarterback's best friend, how does this, like if you're the Denver Broncos, like you're so concerned about the outside guys, now how concerned are you about Cook after a game like this?
Well, hopefully they're worried about Jalen Richard, who had 8 or 9 catches as well. You have to attack not only the personnel of the opponents, you got to attack the structure of their defense. And if you want to play man-to-man, we can choose to go with our receivers. Sometimes it's the man-to-man coverage that the tight end gets or the running back gets. If all 5 eligibles can participate and win their one-on-ones, that's when we're going to be great.
And I think about great Raider tight ends. You think about Casper, Todd Christensen has actually had the record against the San Diego Chargers back in the day. I mean, Raider history, there's a lot of great tight ends who have played for this organization.
Yeah, no doubt. Raymond Chester, good friend of mine, still walking around here. We had Rickey Dudley the last time I was here, but this kid, Jared Cook, is as good a receiving tight end as the Raiders will ever have.
Well, obviously, it's never easy going up to Mile High and playing against the Denver Broncos, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Your return to Denver, what do you think?
Well, it's a tough place to get a win. You said it. They got a great defense. Nothing's changed. They won a world championship with pretty much the same defensive unit they still have. And they've added Bradley Chubb, a very good pass rusher. They're a formidable outfit on defense, especially in that noise. But I think Case Keenum is the guy we got to be most concerned with. I think he's a very unheralded quarterback. He's given them some consistency and some playmaking at a position they haven't had since Peyton Manning left.
Yeah, what's your thought on altitude?
Well, it bothers me. Of course, the road stadiums bother me. I get excited on the road. But the altitude, we're going to have to be careful. We're going to have to try to get out there early, get our players acclimated to it the best we can. We don't want to overthink it. But there are some players that individually don't handle it as well as others. So we gotta do the best we can and monitor that.
I remember Rod Woodson talking about it. That great interception, was it like 98 yards? He said he felt like his lungs were going to explode. But this is always an interesting week because it's a great rivalry between the Raiders and the Denver Broncos. This is going to be, when you talk about a hostile environment, this is going to be a hostile environment.
It is, and that's something we've tried to sell to our team. We have so many new players. It's hard for them to have the natural respect for this rivalry that maybe they should. You know, a lot of these players weren't drafted by the Raiders, haven't been here for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years and competed with the Broncos for the AFC Western crown. So we got to sell the rivalry. We got to make sure our players clearly understand it. And they're coming off a big win against Seattle. It'll be loud, as you said. And we've had a good week of practice. We'll be ready.
You know, I think a lot of people don't understand this is when we're talking about this, you do have a lot of new players. You have a lot of new players on offense. You have a lot of new players on defense. They're learning new schemes. This is a process.
Yeah, we're not going to make any excuses for the way we played in the second half last week. We're laying bricks. We're laying the foundation for the future of this team. And it can be painful at times. And it's a punch in the gut. Sometimes hard to swallow. But we got the right attitude. We've got some really good veterans. I think we're going to see the emergence of some young players. And I think we're going to continue to improve. We just got to prove it.
But I got to tell you, that was electric. Opening night, Monday Night Football, when you walked out onto that field, it was so loud. And I actually said on the broadcast, it hasn't been this loud for a Raider game since you were here last time. What was that like, you returning as the head coach of the Raiders and Raider Nation just exploding around it?
Well, it was awesome. You know, I thank our fans. And after the opening drive, we went 80 yards and scored. I looked up to heaven above. I thank the Lord. This is the greatest time of my life. You know, I'm with all my best friends in the stands, on the field. We're ahead 7-0. But we got to sustain things much better than we did. And that's what we're after. We're after much more success than we showcased the other night.
That air punch you had after that touchdown was incredible. Coach,
I get excited for first downs, Chris. I get excited all the time.
It's a lot of fun. Good luck in week 2.
Thanks, man.